All in.
Shoves with kings. Mateos calls. What a ridiculous hand.
Action on Max Lemansky. Jack King of Diamonds.
You know, now that I think about it, Lemansky's little photo there bears a striking resemblance to Austin Powers.
Behave.
Speaking of behaving, Lemansky is just limped. Odd.
16. 1-6.
Barry Greenstein with Jack 3 suited on the button is raising, makes it 1600.
Barry's attacking that weak play. Stashko has finally got a pair.
And he lets it go.
Seemed like a pretty nice spot for a squeeze, but what do I know? I can see the whole cards.
And Tommy Nord will give up the big blind. So back on Lemansky.
This was a pretty weird spot to limp to begin with, but if the button decides to attack you, I don't think you can just fold it.
Lemansky does make the call. Let's see a flop. Eight, 8-6. Ha! Stashko would have flopped a full house.
That awkward moment where you realize you would have flopped a boat. I'm pretty sure if Monkey C-bet, Monkey do win this pot, and we all know what Barry's going to do.
Greenstein continues the bluff, makes it 2,200.
Assume Lemansky's going to fold any second. His reaching for chips is all right. If Lemansky's floating, he probably does have a decent shot at getting Barry off jack high.
9 of clubs on the turn.
So all kinds of stuff just came in. If Barry had any kind of hand, Lemansky would have a hard time repping anything since A, he limped pre-flop, and B, big draws are going to raise that flop pretty often. Luckily for him, Barry's got just jack high.
Lemansky bets 4,325.
Now Barry hasn't insta-folded, so we're looking at a rare Hollywood from Greenstein.
Maybe Barry has a plan. The plan is to call?
What? Now Barry's floating him. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of lost here.
Interesting to see how this plays out on the river, which pairs the board again. Lemansky's hand is good, 8s and 9s with a king kicker.
He probably thinks his only shot to win this hand is to bet at it, and usually he'd be right.
He's counting out the bet. 7,600.
This is a fairly small bet relative to the size of the pot.
And look at that, Barry raises to 20K.
Barry is bluffing this river like a boss. It's a great bluff based on a great read. Lemansky limp called pre, called the flop, then led the turn, made a tiny bet on the river. His line makes less sense than the plot to Battleship.
Lemansky mulling it over and then letting it go. Barry takes it down.
He has the button.
And he's raised.
And chips are flying into the middle.
Seattle.
Oh no, he's called. He's limped the button.
So a little bit of action. Not too much. He doesn't want to overexert himself, but coming in for a limp rather than a raise.
I think 2018's come early. All this stuff we're seeing, I think these are 2018 trends happening now.
The limps?
Preview. That's right.
They're coming back.
The button limp.
We've gone full circle.
The 3x raise.
Old school is the new school.
The small continuation bet when you're in position.
So three-way to the flop in an unraised pot. Ace 5-3, 2 hearts.
Exact range breakdowns for all three players right now. Leperis, I have no idea. Small blind, I have no idea. And big blind, any 2 cards.
Did someone put chips in the pot? Yes, Leperis has bet 2,300.
I mean, in general, you'd think his range would be strongest because the other 2 guys are in here with any 2 cards, right? So
yes.
We do see some action, though.
Yeah, I got a fold from Trokomenko, but Siliander has called. 6 of diamonds on the turn.
More careful deliberation and a check behind on the 6th turn. Lots of fun rivers here. 5s, probably not too interesting. I would be surprised if either player had... Well, I'd be surprised if Leperis checks back an ace. He could potentially check back a 5, but...
Oh, no option to check this back because Siliander is leading river.
I think fairly likely he's value betting here.
We're going to get to see? Yeah, no, it's a raise.
Interesting. So limps the button, bets flop, checks back turn, now raises river, makes it 14,500.
You would think if he bet flop, he would bet turn, because, again, a lot
Yeah.
of backdoor draws or more connection for hands like 6-4 and 5-4. So, I don't know. It's a weird one. Maybe Joe's called it. Maybe it's nothing.
That's a raise all in from Cilliander.
How much is that, please?
Well, I
he
guess he
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
the
aces.
Wow.
But clearly has something. We don't see a snap fold here. So he was, you would imagine, initially raising for value.
What do you say when you take your jacket off, please?
I thought he was asking to take the bet in so he could see the additional. This is such a weird hand. It started off with Leparis limping the button and the blinds coming along cheaply, and it escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Well, that's
he
a
does
call.
make that
All
call.
right, we can stop speculating.
We're going to get to see both hands. It is an all-in situation.
Sorry.
Leparis with king 5 off.
Wow, the 7-5.
Oh my
hang on.
goodness! Wow.
Oh, hang
Holy.
on. 7-5 was Leparis' hand. The king 5 was Cilliander.
I don't get either raise, to be
No.
honest.
See Ryman raising the button here. Remember, he's now lost the chip lead, which he's held for most of this final table. Gimbal defending his big blind, out of position with ace-4.
5 of diamonds, 6 of
Wow.
hearts, 4 of hearts.
Tyler Ryman flops a straight. Gimbal with bottom pair and the backdoor flush draw.
Gimbal certainly with enough hand to play for one street. Ty obviously flopped the nuts, and he's got to be happy right now.
630,000 from Ty. Call from Harrison. Ten of clubs.
Well, that seals the deal. The flush draw can't get there. Ty Ryman cannot lose.
Ty's going to fire up a nice big bet here. He wants to protect from a flush draw, get value from maybe 2 pair hands that Harrison's slow playing.
1,700,000, 800,000 from Ty.
It's going to be tough for Harrison to call here.
Call.
There's some chance he thinks his hand's good. He might also, since he has the ace of hearts,
River's the 7 of
be
hearts.
attempting to bluff a river heart.
Well, it is a heart on the river.
Check.
He checks. I guess he thinks that maybe Ty might have made a straight, and it's going to be hard to bluff him off of
4.2
it.
million from Ty.
So has Gimbal gone into check fold mode here?
Small one.
No,
All
he
in,
is going
raise
to
from
make a
Harrison.
huge bluff and represent the flush.
7 of hearts is a tough card to represent here because you would think that in order to call the turn, he needs a straight draw or a pair to go with his flush draw. So the 7 of hearts would be a key card to having a straight draw. So would the 8 of hearts, and Ty has that in his hand. So we're trying to decide if Ty can think, oh, could he have the ace king of hearts, the ace queen of hearts, the 10-9 of hearts, ace 5 of hearts. Really tough spot here.
I think he's folded.
Fold or call?
He's folded. Wow.
He folded 7-8.
What a move
Showing
by
any
Gimbal.
nice straights. Harrison
He
takes
thought about
the flop.
showing it too if you saw that. It's a tough spot for Ty Ryman.
Josh will call.
Oh, boy.
I meant to call. Okay, well, yeah. So what are we gonna do? You put in 44, or are you gonna have to make it 48? Josh is actually raised.
He said he meant to call.
Carlos will now move all in.
And because of that, there's no room for sentiment here. Prager's made a slight mistake. And Mortensen pushes all in, but it isn't that much.
The thing is that he may feel like now he's pot committed.
Yeah. And it's not that
I mean,
much
if he
for
saw
him.
Carlos's cards, he'd jump his chips into the middle.
It's gonna cost Josh 167,000 to call.
So he's getting better. He's getting about 3 to 2 on his money. It's hard to think that his queen.
That's right, I won. Double up and start dancing.
Oh, fancy talk. Well, I think that Mortensen's pushing it a bit too much here. That's what I want. Let's start dancing. Get your chips in. He's almost being way too keen. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I know, but even if you call, I'm gonna move on in anyway.
Gosh, this hand's so bad.
What do you have, 10-5? Jack 5?
He's nervous.
Look at Carlos.
Well, it's not that I don't think you have me beat here.
He doesn't.
It's so interesting. We have a very inexperienced kid here against one of the most experienced, tough players.
Josh will call.
Very good call.
I see the hands.
That was a good
Josh calls
call.
with queen tray of clubs.
Why you make a mistake there calling?
Carlos has 6-7 of spades.
Mortensen knows all about final tables and good appearances in tournaments. He's always there or thereabouts. And that's why he's doing this with a smile on his face. He's probably quite happy with his day's work. Let's see, does he stay in? The flop. Oh, there's an interesting flop there.
There's an action flop for you.
Prager's obviously opened up his flush draw, but Mortensen's hit the pair. It puts him into the lead as it stands at the moment. Changes his odds significantly.
That makes Carlos a straight, but Prager has the flush outs.
That's the perfect turn card for a neutral, but not for these two. And it changes again. Unbelievable action.
We are on cooler alert.
Oh boy.
Ivanov opened with 5s. Pastor 3-bet with aces. Decision now on Mateos, who's got queens.
That's not going to be good for business.
He 4-bets. And Lasmar, our qualifier, has jacks.
Wow.
He folds. Christopher Frank
All in?
shoves with kings.
Oh, come on. Is this a standard deck or just one with all the letters of the alphabet?
I didn't look before.
Seriously? Boy, are you going to be happy and then immediately disappointed.
Ivanov has folded. It's back on Pastor.
Yeah, check this out, Johnny Lawden.
He reshoves. What does Mateos do now?
That. Feels bad, man, but I don't think he can fold.
What a ridiculous hand.
Having aces here and having them hold, that's how you become a grand final champion.
And is that? 5.
So sick.
Sicker than Lucille Auster on a Gravitron.
I don't know.
He knows he's losing in at least one spot, but his odds are also pretty sick.
I think I have to call. There.
Mateos calls.
Got aces? No.
I swear I fold jacks. I swear.
Cool story, bro.
Aces versus kings versus queens.
Well, none of the 3 ones, eh?
6 swept for everyone so deep in the tournament. Even aces aren't totally safe.
Juan Martin Pastor set to triple up. Christopher Frank likely to be eliminated. The flop. 10-4 deuce. The turn card. It's a queen!
I am so sorry. Buenos dias, Adrian.
And now there's a 90% chance we lose 2 players. Mateos goes from worst to first, and it's a double KO! Frank out! Pastor out!
That really sucks.